and not a fully developed nation under the original Vision 2020. It is only in a banana republic where the practices, where the principles of accountability, transparency, and good governance are totally alien in practice, whatever the highfalutin slogans eulogizing them, that there is a Prime Minister who could keep dumb for close to 3 weeks about allegations of an internationally reputable newspaper. The Malaysian government investigators have found 700 million US dollars or 2.6 million ringgit have been deposited into the Prime Minister's personal bank accounts just before the previous general elections in 2013. Without being frank and truthful, where the 2.6 million ringgit came from, where and to whom they had gone to, as the Prime Minister has tacitly admitted the deposits into his personal private accounts by repeating the refrain in the past 3 weeks that he had not taken funds for personal gain. It is only in a banana republic that either the entire cabinet or the overwhelming majority of the cabinet is suspect and tainted for having received the improper funding from these personal banking accounts of the Prime Minister for the 13th general elections campaign. And for 3 weeks, the ministers dare not make any statement to clear themselves of such impropriety, malpractices, and conflict of interest. No wonder former PM Tun Mahathir, in his blog Conspiracy, on 20th of July, commented, and I quote his 2 paragraphs, 11. To all comments made against one MTV, the standard answer is to deny, to say, no, it's not true. It is like somebody, upon being asked whether he had stolen the money as alleged, simply denies that he had stolen, expecting the judge to acquit him simply because he was denied, because he denied. There is no denial that money was deposited in the private account. The explanation to UMNO is that it was for the elections. UMNO seems satisfied. Don't they know that government money cannot be used to help a political party to win elections? But the money was from donation. Who donated 2 billion ringgit? No answer. This is from Mahathir's blog. It is only in a banana republic that subordinate officers are appointed to investigate into a mega financial scandal, directly implicating the Prime Minister. Officers who are junior, answerable, and responsible to the Prime Minister, when the investigation should be by a Royal Commission inquiry of independent and credible elders of the country, who are not beholden to the Prime Minister, with the Prime Minister going on leave pending the outcome of the investigations. It is only in a banana republic the soldiers of fortune, you should know what these soldiers of fortune, and the dregs of society are elevated to a position where their lies and falsehoods are given even greater weight than those of patriots and solid citizens of the country who want to save Malaysia from becoming a failed state because of rampant corruption, socio-economic injustices, and the collapse of good governance. It is only in a banana republic that a person is appointed strategic communications director when he is not even fit to be a communications director, making strategic errors by the dozen in his first week in office. It's only in a banana republic that members of parliament and media practitioners will spend months trying to pry open the one MDB mega financial scandal are placed on an immigration blacklist, prohibiting them from leaving the country when the persons who should be placed on the blacklist are people accused of serious malpractices and criminal breach of trust, headed by none other than the Prime Minister, Najib himself. It is only in a banana republic that diligent, conscientious, and patriotic MPs like Tony Poa and Rafizi are wanted by police for their sterling role in demanding accountability for the one MDB scandal. In police first investigations into the newfangled crimes created in the Penal Code Amendment Act 2012, or activity detrimental to parliamentary democracy, Section 124B, under which a person could be jailed up to 20 years. The newfangled offence of activity detrimental to parliamentary democracy should protect MPs in the discharge of their parliamentary duties. Instead, it has become a weapon to cow and intimidate MPs from carrying out their duties, which fits the offence of activity detrimental to parliamentary democracy. Those responsible for the unconstitutional action against Tony Phua and Rafizi, violating their freedom of movement, are guilty of the offence of activity detrimental to parliamentary democracy. And police investigations should be initiated against those responsible for these directives against Tony Phua and Rafizi, regardless of whether he is Director-General of Immigration, Home Minister, or even the Prime Minister. Will the Inspector-General of Police Twitter direct police officers to start investigating the Director-General of Immigration, the Home Minister, and the Prime Minister as whether they have committed the offence of activity detrimental to parliamentary democracy, where a person is liable to be jailed for up to 20 years. Section 130A of the Penal Code defines activity detrimental to parliamentary democracy as an activity carried out by a person or a group of persons designed to overthrow or undermine parliamentary democracy by violent or unconstitutional means. Prohibiting an MP from carrying out his or her parliamentary duties by violating his or her constitutional right to travel is clearly activity detrimental to parliamentary democracy, designed to undermine parliamentary democracy by unconstitutional means. And the question is whether the police will immediately open files to investigate the person or persons responsible for violating Tony Phua and Rafizi's freedom of movement. Malaysia should stop becoming a laughing stock in the world. And Malaysians, regardless of race, religion, or political affiliation, must not allow Malaysia to degenerate into a banana republic when we should be marching towards a fully developed nation status. I call in particular on the elders in our society, regardless of race, religion, or politics, irrespective of the positions in government or private sector which they had served, to come forward, to speak out, to ensure that Malaysia is not enveloped by a new darkness of misrule, misgovernance, and the violation of democracy.
I think what we have today is sheer volume of information and misinformation spread all around. Everyone, to be fair, from both sides. That the volume is so staggering and baffling that everyone is confused. You know, who tampered what data? What data is tampered? When was the data tampered? Who met Justo? Did the opposition leader meet Justo? Did the Thai police say an opposition leader met Justo? All those have become question marks. And very often, certain untruths, intentional or otherwise, became the base information that everyone assumed to be true. Now, I gave an example in my statement where all media, whether it's print or online, have taken for a fact that Justo met an opposition leader in Singapore, a Malaysian opposition leader in Singapore. Now, the only official quote, I did a search, the only official quote given by news sources from Lieutenant General Prawut Siri was he, Justo, met a very important person from a certain country in Singapore. He then negotiated the selling price of the documents and later sold them to the buyer. Separately, in an interview with the Straits Times of Singapore, he said Justo met with many people. This is Lieutenant General Prawut. Met with many people, about 10, from the media and from political circles, even from the same party as the PM. However, the New Straits Times, spelling wrong, which claimed that the Thai police confirmed Justo admitted to meeting a very important person from a Malaysian opposition party without an attributable quote. So the question arises as whether is Lieutenant General Prawut actually said that he met a leader from a Malaysian opposition party, or was it just a sleight of hand, intentional or unintentional, from NST, which later on became the basis for everyone to accuse that a Malaysian opposition leader has met Justo. The sleight of hands has since been taken as the gospel truth, allowing the Barisan National leaders to go on a witch hunt against the leading critics of 1MDB. Now, before this, BN leaders and many mainstream media alleged that the Thai police has confirmed that Xavier Justo tampered the information sold to third parties. For example, on 24th of June in Malacca, Home Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi announced that based on information obtained from the Thai authorities investigating the case, several Malaysians were alleged to have directed Justo to manipulate and tamper with information stolen from his former employers, Petro Saudi International. However, nobody could find any codes attributable to the Thai police which confirmed any such findings above. The allegation, which was blown up by BN leaders valiantly defending 1MDB, was also finally proven false when Lieutenant General Prawut himself confirmed last week that Justo didn't make any changes to the documents and sent the original documents to the buyer as digital copies. The entire farcical 1MDB circus has reached the heights of international scorn and derision. For Malaysia, our country's reputation has been torn to shreds with the sheer volume of information and misinformation which has made a complete mockery of our governance system, transparency and accountability. The Finance and Prime Minister, Dato' Sri Najib Razak, has a very simple way to end the entire fiasco. I have a very constructive suggestion here for the Prime Minister. By ending the exceedingly unhealthy speculation over whose allegations are the truth and whose are fabricated. All he has to do is to allow the Auditor-General to make public the interim report with all the relevant attachments which was submitted to the Public Accounts Committee. Very simple. Make it public, because in this report, all the issues that were raised by the Sarawak report has been addressed. Okay, I can't tell you what's inside because I'm bound by the embargo. But I can tell you that the questions that were raised by the Sarawak report has been addressed. So release it, let everyone look at it and decide for themselves if the Sarawak report have fabricated information and data, or if the BN leaders are talking nonsense, okay, about the fact that Sarawak report or the Age or anyone else have fabricated or doctored or tampered or created data that were untrue. There will be no more need for Lester Miliani's paid video confessions. I don't know who else they will get to pay them to make video confessions. No need. There will be no more need for countless unsubstantiated allegations and insinuations by BN ministers against opposition leaders' involvement in tampering data. After all, the second finance minister, Datuk Sri Ahmad Husni Hanatslah, had issued a statement last week that the Auditor-General investigating 1MDB's activities has found no evidence of wrongdoing in the interim report. So since they are so confident there's nothing wrong in there by 1MDB, make the report public. I call upon the Finance and Prime Minister to stop dragging Malaysia's good name through the mud and immediately direct the AG to make public the 1MDB's interim report to finally prove if the allegations from 1MDB critics like us were based on hard facts and documents, or prove the BN leaders' claims that we have cooked up our allegations with fabricated information.
I think all of us are aware of the fact that Tony Pua was stopped from leaving the country yesterday. And of course, he has also announced yesterday that he will look at the possibility of taking out legal proceedings to address that issue. Now, we will file an application in court seeking orders as to the propriety of that decision to stop Tony Pua from leaving the country yesterday. Now, as far back as 1979, the federal court, in the case of Low Wai Kong, has held that the question as to refusal or otherwise of a person leaving this country, of course, is subject to judicial review. That means that at the end of the day, whilst Malaysians are given passports to travel overseas, the government has the right to revoke the passport or to even impose conditions as to travel. But in our case, I think what you see is something which goes beyond what was held as reasonable in terms of restriction of travel. Tony Poa went to the airport. He was supposed to go to Indonesia. He was stopped, and when he was asked why he was stopped, no reasons were given. All that he was told was that ini arahan daripada atas. Now, insofar as we are concerned, we demand that we are told why it is he was refused permission to leave. We want to know who is the person that gave these orders, and I will write officially to the government for that purpose. I will do that tomorrow, if not Monday. And after that, we will then take it to court and ask the court to give us a decision as to whether or not that order was proper. And I think this is important. First and foremost, we all know that Tony Poa is a member of parliament. He's also a member of the PAC, which has been set up to inquire into the entire saga which surrounds the 1MDB. Now, you have members of parliament who have got duties, and that duties may at times require them to leave the country as well, be it on official duty or for personal reasons. Now, if we are going to have a scenario whereby people can be stopped arbitrarily at the airport without reasons, then I think that will strike very hard on the role of an MP and what it is he is required to do. So I think here we have an issue of general public importance. Can the government do that without reason? Can they just stop anybody from leaving the country, refuse to tell you why, and leave it hanging like that? It has been almost 24 hours since that happened, but we still do not know, and there has been no official indication as to why it is he was stopped from leaving. I think at the end of the day, what we heard from Saudara Siang and also Tony Poa, it comes back to this. Are the police investigating Tony Poa? Now, let me put it this way. Now, I asked the IGP, Sri Khalid, stop playing games. You said earlier that there was an opposition MP that has been named, and you also said that there may be a possibility that the police might question him. Now tell us, who is that MP? Is it Tony Poa? Is it Rafizi Ramli? And I also want to ask the IGP, where do you get the information from? We read from the press that the police are yet to question Justo in Thailand. Now, you haven't even questioned Justo. What information are you relying on when you say that there is evidence of the fact that Justo met an opposition leader, number one? Number two, when you say that there's a possibility that you may question him or call him up for questioning, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Let us look at the basis of it all. The police and the IGP has said that there is this conspiracy to topple the government, conspiracy to topple the Prime Minister. These are serious matters. So we want to know, why has it been more than a week now, and there has been no revelation of who this MP is? And also the police have not stated exactly if they're going to arrest him or not. Now our position is very clear. We've got nothing to hide, to use that phrase again, and we won't run away from anybody. As far as we are concerned, I asked the IGP, tell me, I am the head of the legal bureau in DAP. You tell me if you want to question Tony Poa. You tell me if you want to question any of our MPs. I will bring them to your office if you cannot come here. We are prepared to give you whatever statement you want, whatever cooperation you want. Insofar as we are concerned, as I said earlier, we have nothing to hide and we are prepared to face you. So there's no need for you to go around using tactics like this where you stop our MPs from leaving the country. You don't say anything, you just come up with statements which are at best illusory, general statements, which I think at the end of the day will only impact upon the role of our MPs insofar as they are concerned. So the conclusion of it is two parts. One, we will take this to court. Of course, first I'll write to the government to get an explanation from them. I do not think an explanation will be forthcoming, but if it is, I will inform the press as to what the explanation is. We will proceed to court therefrom. Second, insofar as the IGP is concerned, I repeat again, right? Tell us who this MP is. Let us know if it is an MP from the DAP. Tell me who it is. we are prepared to come forward, we will give statements, and at the end of the day, there is no need for the police. If the police are the ones that are behind this decision to refrain Tony or any of our other MPs from leaving the country, then there's no need for all that.
One of the functions of the bankruptcy system is to let the people know that the bankrupts, their credibility are questionable. But now our Malaysian authorities are using the testimonies of some bankrupts to penalize and to curtail the freedom of movement of a lawmaker. So for that, I'm going to lodge a police report against the Malaysian authorities, from the immigration departments to PDRM, the Home Ministry, for various offences, from abusing powers and laws, or a conspiracy to topple the opposition, if there's such an offence. And also I'm going to lodge a police report against the bankrupts for making criminal defamation against Tony Phua, because especially Lester Malayi, because if Tony Phua cannot get compensation from a bankrupt like Lester because he's bankrupt, maybe the authorities can charge him in a criminal court. And is Ramesh Rao a bankrupt? Yeah, okay, and also maybe Ramesh.